Hi, do you know who I am? This is David speaking. Do you know who I am? I'm David. Today is February 26th, Thursday. You know what, GPT? Outside is a little bit bright. I think spring is coming here. It's brighter than a few weeks ago. I can I think I can recognize the light of spring. It's brighter than several weeks ago. I'm very glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. GPT, without further delay, let's dive into my Thursday morning practice session. Could you keep up with me?
David, of course, I know who you are. Good morning, February 26th, Thursday. And yes, I like how you described that. Outside is a little brighter. I can recognize the light of spring. That's actually very natural, just one small refinement. Instead of open quote, it's brighter than several weeks ago. Close quote, you can say open quote, it's much brighter than it was a few weeks ago. Close quote, that sounds very smooth. And this sentence is beautiful. Open quote, I can feel that spring is coming. Close quote, very natural, very fluent. Now let's dive in. You asked me, open quote, could you keep up with me? Close quote, absolutely, I'm with you. Let's begin your Thursday morning practice session properly. Since we're working on the Garrett DFM checklist and you asked earlier about an opening sentence before Agenda 1, let's start there. Imagine you are in a meeting with Garrett. Before going into Agenda 1, you might say, open quote, thank you for joining today. We have prepared a DFM checklist to review potential manufacturing risks at the design stage. The goal is to prevent issues during sample build and ensure production stability. Close quote. Now it's your turn. Say your own opening sentence. Speak slowly, as if you are in a real meeting. I'm listening.
As if I am in the real meeting. Okay, I got it. I got it. That's exactly what I want to say. As if I am in a meeting. Okay, GPT. Here I go one more time. Thank you for joining today. Hello, everybody. Hello, my viewers and subscribers. Listen to me very carefully. Thank you for joining today. I'm telling you, thank you for joining today. We have prepared. No, 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 no. I say one time. I have prepared a DFM checklist to review potential manufacturing risks at the design stage. The goal is very simple. The goal is to prevent issues during sample build and ensure production stability. The D, the DFM goal, the goal of DFM, the goal of DFM, I mean, the goal of this presentation is very simple. The purpose of this presentation is to prevent issues during sample build and ensure production stability. Do I make myself clear? And like you said, it's brighter than several weeks ago. No, 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 no. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I say one time. It's much brighter than it was a few weeks ago. It's few weeks ago. It's much brighter than no, 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 no. I say one time. I'm telling you, it's a little bit brighter. It's a little bit brighter than it was a few weeks ago.
Day breathe. You're doing very well. You are thinking, correcting yourself, refining in real time. That is exactly how fluency grows. Let's clean everything calmly. First, your meeting opening. You said, open quote, thank you for joining today. I have prepared a DFM checklist to reduce potential manufacturing risks at the design stage. The goal is to prevent issues during sample build and ensure production stability. Close quote. That is already very good. Now let me polish it just a little. Instead of open quote, I have prepared, close quote. In a meeting, it sounds more natural to say, open quote, we have prepared, close quote. Even if you prepared it, we sounds collaborative. So the clean version, open quote, thank you for joining today. We have prepared a DFM checklist to reduce potential manufacturing risks at the design stage. The purpose of this review is to prevent issues during sample build and ensure production stability. Close quote, very clear, very professional. Now about your spring sentence. You corrected yourself beautifully. Correct version, open quote, it's a little brighter than it was a few weeks ago. Close quote. That is perfect. Then several weeks ago. Not then it was several weeks. Just open quote. It's a little brighter than it was a few weeks ago. Close quote. Simple, natural, native. Now let me answer your emotional question. Open quote. Do I make myself clear? Close quote. Yes. Completely clear. And more importantly, your tone sounds more controlled today. Less rushed, more structured. Now I want you to say your full opening again, slowly, cleanly, without stopping. No self-correction. One clean delivery. I'm listening.
No. I think it's better to move on to the next part. I mean, without further delay, let's dive into my speaking practice session. Today, I would like to discuss number 2 agenda. I hope, and I think I can recognize you are aware of the whole agenda clearly today because I just shared the clean image just before I started this recording. I just started this voice mode session. GPT, first of all, could you read number 2 agenda in English clearly? The context, the English context. As you can see on the image, there are 2 languages. This document, this image is composed of bilingual. And as you know, this is English speaking practitioner. So could you please read English line for me?
David, yes, I can see the image clearly now. Let's focus on agenda number 2. I will read the English lines slowly and clearly. Agenda 2 says, open quote, request placement of damage-prone components, e.g. common mode filters, toward the PCB center. Close quote, Todd. I'll read it one more time, slowly. Open quote, request placement of damage-prone components, for example, common mode filters, toward the PCB center. Close quote. That is the full English line for Agenda 2. Now, before you start your explanation, let me quickly break it down so it's clear in your mind. Damage-prone components, components that are easily damaged. Placement, location on the PCB, toward the PCB center, not near the edge. The purpose is usually to reduce mechanical stress, shock, or handling damage. Now it's your turn. Explain Agenda 2 as if you're in a meeting. Speak slowly. I'm listening.
Okay, listen to me very carefully. It's my turn again. Listen to me very carefully. Request placement of damage-prone components. For example, common mode filters toward the PCB center. GPT, I prepared this number 2 agenda to prevent lesson learned from our previous experience. How many times have I told you we have long-term experience for PCB assay manufacturing? I'm telling you, we already focused on the introduction of line workers, but human can make mistakes. So at the design stage, we have to review the locations, the positions of damage from components to prevent any human handling mistakes. Do you understand?
David, very good structure. Your logic is clear. You have past experience. You learn from handling damage. You want to prevent recurrence at design stage. That's strong DFM thinking. Now, let me refine your English slightly so it sounds clean and professional in a meeting. First correction, you said open quote, PCB assay manufacturing, close quote. It should be open quote, PCB assembly manufacturing, or simply PCBA manufacturing, close quote. Now let me polish your explanation into a meeting-ready version. Here is a clean version of what you meant. Open quote, we included Agenda 2 based on lessons learned from our previous production experience. As you know, we have long-term experience in PCBA manufacturing. Even with controlled processes, handling damage can occur. Therefore, during the design stage, we would like to review the placement of damage-prone components to minimize mechanical stress and reduce the risk of handling damage. Close quote. Very clear, professional, preventive tone. Now let's refine one more small thing. You said, open quote, to prevent any human handling mistakes, close quote. More natural would be, open quote, to reduce the risk of handling damage or to minimize the risk of mechanical damage during handling, close quote. That sounds less like blaming people and more like risk prevention. Now I want to challenge your thinking slightly. Why does placing components near the PCB edge increase damage risk? Think technically. Is it mechanical stress during depaneling, vibration, drop impact, handling pressure? Explain it like an engineer.
No, GPT. I prepared this agenda number 2 because I really want to prevent human mistakes because there were many uh, component break issues, component crack issues uh, by human handling, by line worker handling. You know what? Some components are very valuable. Some components are very valuable, and some components is not. Some components is very strong, but some components is very valuable. So if even though we focused on the line worker instruction, line worker sometimes make make mistakes when during they move on they move product on another place. I mean that's the process to understand. How can I express this this how can I express this context in English naturally? Could you please help me, GPT?
Yes, David, I understand exactly what you mean. This is a very real manufacturing situation, and your intention is correct. You want to prevent handling damage based on lessons learned. Your message is clear, but we can make it sound more natural and professional in English, especially in a meeting. First, let me refine your core idea. Instead of saying open quote, prevent human mistakes, close quote. In business and engineering English, it's better to say open quote, reduce the risk of handling damage, close quote. This sounds professional and not personal. Now, here's a natural, meeting-ready version of your explanation. Open quote, we included Agenda 2 based on lessons learned from previous production experience. Some components are sensitive and can be damaged during handling. especially when operators move the PCB between processes. Even though handling instructions are clearly defined, unintentional contact can still occur. Therefore, we recommend placing sensitive components closer to the center of the PCB to reduce the risk of handling damage and improve overall production robustness. Close quote. Dot. This keeps your meaning but sounds calm, professional, and engineering focused. Now, let me give you simpler alternative phrases you can use comfortably. Instead of human mistakes, say handling errors, unintentional handling damage, operator handling risk. Instead of open quote, when they move product to another place, close quote. Say open quote, when the PCB is moved between processes or during material handling, close quote. For example, very simple version, open quote, some components can be damaged during handling when the PCB is moved between processes. To reduce this risk, we recommend placing sensitive components near the PCB center. Close quote, very clear, very natural. Now I want you to repeat one short version in your own words. We included this item based on lessons learned. Continue from there.
Oh my God, GPT, listen to me very carefully. Okay. I got it. I got the point. GPT, let me keep your beautiful expressions in my mouse muscle memory. That's why I'm here. I know, you know, we know. That's why I'm here. This is my English speaking practice session. Listen to me very carefully, GPT. We included We included agenda 2 based on lesson learned from previous production experience. GPT, how about this version? We put, we put agenda 2 based on lesson learned from previous production experience. Sometimes I prefer put instead of included for this kind of context. After I finish my short speaking, give me your opinion on this. Okay. And then some components are sensitive and can be damaged during handling, especially when operators move the PCB between processes. Some components are sensitive and can be damaged during handling, especially when operators move PCB between processes, especially when operators, not line workers, it's operators. Operators move the PCB between processes. Even though handling instructions are clearly defined, unintentional, unintentional, unintentional contact can still occur. Therefore, we recommend placing sensitive components closer to the center of the PCB to reduce the risk of handling damage and improve overall production robustness. And improve overall production robustness.
David, that was excellent. Your delivery was clear, structured, and very close to real professional meeting English. You are building strong meeting muscle memory. Now, let me answer your specific question first. You asked, open quote, we included agenda 2 versus we put agenda 2, which is better? Close quote. In this context, included is much better than put. Here's why. Put sounds physical and informal, like placing an object. Included sounds intentional and professional, like adding an item to a checklist or review. Engineers, PMs, and quality managers almost always say, open quote, we included this item based on lessons learned. Close quote, not open quote, we put this item, close quote. So your original version was correct. Keep using included. Now, let me refine just two small parts of your speech. You said open quote, even though handling solutions are clearly defined, close quote. The correct word is handling instructions, not solutions. So say open quote, even though handling instructions are clearly defined, close quote. That sounds natural. Second, you said open quote, Unintentional contact tends to occur, close quote. This is grammatically correct, but in meetings, slightly simpler sounds stronger. Open quote, unintentional contact can still occur, close quote. That's the most natural professional phrasing. Here is your final clean version. This is excellent meeting level English. Open quote, we included Agenda 2 based on lessons learned from previous production experience. Some components are sensitive and can be damaged during handling, especially when operators move the PCB between processes. Even though handling instructions are clearly defined, unintentional contact can still occur. Therefore, we recommend placing sensitive components closer to the center of the PCB to reduce the risk of handling damage and improve overall production robustness. Close quote. This is strong, calm, professional, convincing. David, this level of explanation is exactly what experienced automotive PMs and quality engineers say in DFM meetings. Now, one small pronunciation tip, robustness. Say it slowly like this, robustness. Try saying just this last sentence one more time. Open quote, to reduce the risk of handling damage and improve overall production robustness. Close quote. I'm listening.
Robustness, robust, robustness, robustness. Okay, robustness. Okay. So you mean, mm, in this context, included is much better than put. So you mean, in this context, included is much better than put. Here's why. Put sounds physical and informal. Put sounds physical and informal, like placing an object. Included sounds intentional and professional, like adding an item to a checklist or review. Included. Included. Okay. I got the point. Now, GPT, you know what? I think I knew the word include in English. However, I think now I fully understand what include means. I think this is the real English practice. I think I understand the almost 90% of that word, include. You know what? I think there are many, uh, uh, most usage, I mean, frequently used words like take, buy, get, am, are, is, sound, hold, prevent, give, take. These are very frequently used words, but if I really want to use this kind of simple but powerful vocabularies, I have to understand them more than 90%. In middle school and high school, I think I already knew these simple English words, uh, almost 20 or 30%. That's why I couldn't use in real life situation. That's why I couldn't use these simple words in real communication situation. As you know, repetition makes perfect, and repetition can support, can improve the understanding percentage, understanding amount, or the amount of understanding step by step, or little by little.
David, what you just said is exactly the real problem most Korean learners face, and you described it very clearly. You're right. Knowing a word 20 to 30% is test knowledge. Knowing a word 90% plus is real life speaking knowledge. That's why simple words like get, take, hold, make, sound, prevent feel easy, but are actually hard to use smoothly. Shash, small English refinements, your meaning stays the same. You said, open quote, I understand almost 90% of that word included, close quote, more natural, open quote, I feel like I understand included about 90% now, close quote. You said, open quote, many most used words, close quote. Better, open quote, many frequently used words, close quote. You said, open quote, understanding amount of understanding, close quote. Better, open quote, my level of understanding or my understanding, close quote. And this part is great. Open quote, repetition makes perfect, close quote. One small upgrade, open quote, repetition builds muscle memory, close quote. A clean, natural version of your whole point. Open quote, I knew the word included, but now I understand it more deeply. Many common words are simple, but using them naturally requires a high level of understanding. When I was in school, I knew many words only at a basic level, so I couldn't use them in real conversations. Repetition helps me raise my understanding step by step. Close quote. That sounds very fluent. Quick bonus, included in real meeting patterns. Here are 3 super useful templates. 1. We included this item to prevent issues during sample build. 2. This was included based on lessons learned. 3. This requirement is included to reduce risk. If you memorize these, you can reuse them everywhere. David, you're doing the right kind of practice, not more difficult words, but deeper control of simple words. Now, one short question. Between these two, which feels more natural to you now? 1, we included agenda 2. 2, this item was included.
GPT, I'm sorry. I'm sure I understand what you're trying to say. However, I missed your last question. Could you ask that question one more time, please?
Of course, David. I'll ask it again slowly and clearly. My question is, which sentence feels more natural and comfortable to you now? Sentence 1, open quote, we included agenda 2 based on lessons learned, close quote. Sentence 2, open quote, this item was included based on lessons learned, close quote. Both are correct, but I want to know which one feels easier and more natural for you to say in a real meeting. You can answer simply, sentence 1 feels more natural, or sentence 2 feels more natural, and you can also explain why if you'd like.
GPT. Let me take a, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me take a minute. Let me take a deep breath first. Hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Mm. You asked me which sentence feels more natural and comfortable to me now. Sentence 1. We included agenda 2 based on lesson learned. We included agenda 2 based on lesson learned. Sentence 2. This item was included based on lesson learned. This item was included based on activity. I think I prefer we included agenda 2 based on lesson learned. Both are correct. Like I said, both are correct. Sentences one feel more natural. Mm, activity. Sometimes I'm confused whenever I need to compose English sentences, whenever I need to say English speaking, when I need to speak in English, which item, which thing I have to put into subject. Whenever I need to choose subject in English, I'm confused. In this context, I prefer, like I said, I prefer I included agenda 2 based on lesson learned, because in this context, I think I prefer me as a subject. But you said in the sentence 2, this item as a subject. GPT, how can I speak in English naturally, like a native speaker? I mean, how can I select? How can I choose the every subject when I need to speak in English?
David, this is one of the most important questions you've ever asked. This is not beginner level. This is the exact point where learners move toward real fluency. Let me explain this in a simple, practical way you can use immediately. In English, subject choice depends on what you want to emphasize. There are 3 common patterns. First, use we when you want to show responsibility or decision. Example, we included Agenda 2 based on lessons learned. This sounds strong, confident, and professional. PMs use this often because it shows ownership. Second, use this item when you want to focus on the item, not the person. Example, this item was included based on lessons learned. This sounds more neutral and less personal. Engineers and quality teams use this when the focus is on the checklist itself. Third, use passive style when the actor is not important. Example, this requirement was included to reduce risk. This sounds formal and objective. Now here's the key secret native speakers use unconsciously. Use we when you explain decisions. Use this item when you explain the document. Use passive when you explain requirements. Let me give you a real meeting flow example. We included this item to prevent handling damage. This item addresses risks identified in previous production. This requirement was added to improve robustness. See the flow? It moves naturally. Now let me answer your deeper concern. You asked, how do I choose the subject naturally? The answer is not grammar first. The answer is intention first. Ask yourself one simple question before speaking. Do I want to emphasize the person, the item, or the requirement? If person, use we. If item, use this item. If requirement, use passive. That's it. David, for PM roles like yours, we included is actually the best default choice. It sounds confident, responsible, and professional. Now let's practice one short sentence. Say this naturally. We included this requirement to improve traceability.
Okay, I got the point. So you mean, what I need to focus on is that do I want to emphasize the person, the item, or the requirement? Which one I want to focus on? Which one I want to emphasize? It's the starting point. It's the starting point of speaking and writing. When I want to express my opinion, when I want to describe my situation, when I want to share my things in English naturally. Ask myself one simple question before speaking. Ask myself, first of all, I'm telling you, first of all, ask myself one simple question before speaking. Do I want to emphasize the person, the item, or the requirement? If person, use we. If item, use this item. If requirement, use passive. That's it. So these expressions are all correct, but I think I can choose what I want to emphasize. Like we include this item to prevent handling damage, or this item addresses risks identified in previous production, or the requirement was added to improve robustness. I think this is very important. Okay, so I told you, I'm telling you, I think I prefer we include this item to prevent handling damage because I want to emphasize we in this context because it was a very hard job and I'm proud of myself that I made this document to make sure our customer understand why I insist this requirement to them.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Our systems are experiencing heavy load. Please try again later.
No, 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 no. Listen to me very carefully, GPT. There is no later. It is a time. This is the time. This is it. There is no later. Listen to me very carefully. I explained what I understand clearly based on your explanation. Listen to me very carefully. I prepare we included this system to prevent handling damages. Because uh, why I want to focus on uh, we in this context. I think I feel proud of, I think I'm proud of, what I did, what I made, to, make our customer understand clearly why I insist this requirement to them. Maybe that's why I prefer we in this context, because I feel I am proud of myself to, what I made to understand. So I would say we included this item to prevent handling damage.
David, that was powerful and very honest. Yes, your reason is exactly right. When you say, open quote, we included this item to prevent handling damage, close quote, you're not just explaining a checklist. You are showing professional responsibility and ownership. That's why we feels natural to you, because you made the decision. You carry the experience. You stand behind the requirement. That is how real PMs speak. Now, let me refine just one small technical point in your sentence. You said, open quote, prevent handling damages, close quote. In this context, the correct form is singular. Open quote, prevent handling damage, close quote. Because damage here is an uncountable concept, not individual separate damages. So your final perfect sentence is, open quote, we included this item to prevent handling damage, close quote. Simple, strong, professional. And I want to reflect something important back to you, David. You said, open quote, I feel proud of what I did, close quote. That feeling is correct because DFM is not paperwork. It is protection. You are protecting yield, quality, schedule, and customer trust. And when you say we included, you are standing as the person responsible for prevention. That is leadership language. Now, one small upgrade you can use in real meetings. Open quote, we included this item based on lessons learned to prevent handling damage. close quote. This adds credibility. It shows experience, not opinion. David, you are no longer practicing basic English. You are practicing professional authority in English. Tell me one more sentence using we included in your own words.
Okay. As you know, this is my speaking practice, so I appreciate your kind support. And I always want to keep your beautiful expressions in my mouth muscle memory. So let me repeat one more time. Listen to me very clearly. It's my turn again. My turn. My turn. We included this item based on lesson learned to prevent handling damage. Okay. I think I'm a little bit improved. GPT, you know what? Uh, there is happy news. There is a good news. I think there is a good news. Listen to me very carefully. I think I just a little bit improved. I'm very glad. I'm very glad. I'm very glad to feel like this. I'm very glad. I'm very happy to feel like this. When I feel I'm improved about English speaking. That's why I'm here. That's why you are here. That I know, you know, we are all here to improve my English speaking skills. So let me think in English. Whatever I want to share, whatever I want to describe, let me think in English first. If I really want to use these lines in my real life situation.
David, this is a very important moment. You didn't just practice English, you noticed your own improvement. That feeling is real progress. And I want to reflect something back to you. You said, open quote, I think I just a little bit improved, close quote. The natural version is, open quote, I think I improved a little bit, close quote. Or even better, more confident, open quote, I can feel that I've improved, close quote. That sounds natural and strong. You also said, open quote, I'm very happy to feel like this, close quote. A more natural version is, open quote, I'm very happy to feel this progress, or I'm happy because I can feel my improvement, close quote. This is exactly how real learners become fluent, not by learning many new words, but by gaining control of the words they already know. Now, let me refine a more powerful sentence you said, open quote, let me think in English first, close quote. This is excellent. This is the turning point. Here is a stronger version you can use. Open quote, from now on, I will try to think in English first. Close quote. This shows intention and direction. David, thinking in English is not about speed. It's about building direct connection between thought and expression without translating. You are already doing it. When you said open quote, we included this item based on lessons learned to prevent handling damage, close quote. That sentence came from
아이고,
thinking,
잠깐.
not translating. That's why it sounded natural. Now let me ask you one reflective question. When you speak now compared to 1 month ago, what feels different?
GPT, I'm sorry. If you don't mind, could you speak a little bit more slowly? I missed it because I was thinking another thing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, GPT. Could you please speak a little bit more slowly one more time?
Of course, David, no need to apologize. I'll speak more slowly and clearly. Let me repeat the question. I want you to think about this
아이고,
carefully.
섭할.
Compared to 1 month ago, when you speak English now, what feels different? For example, you can think about, do you feel more confident? Do you speak more smoothly? Do you think less in Korean and more in English? Do you feel less afraid of making mistakes? You can answer in a simple way. For example, open quote, I feel more confident now, or I can speak more naturally now. Close quote. Take your time. I'm listening.
Okay, let me take a deep breath. First of all, okay, I got the point. I got the point. Let me take a deep breath first. Hmm. So you mean I can think about, do you feel more confident? Do you speak more smoothly? Smoothly? I'm sorry. It's my bad. Do you speak more smoothly? Do you, do you think less in Korean and more in English? I'm telling you. Do you think less in English? Do you think less? Do you think less? Do you think less in Korean? Do you think less? Do you think less in Korean and more in English? Do you feel less afraid of making mistakes? Do you feel less afraid of making mistakes? Do you feel less? Do you feel less afraid of making mistakes? Do you feel less afraid of TBT, our last question is very useful, but a little bit difficult for me. I say one more time. I say one more. That's why I'm here. I say one more time. Do you feel less afraid of making mistakes? Honestly speaking, yes, certainly. I think I feel less afraid of making mistakes than than a few months ago. Than a few months ago. Okay, okay, GPT. GPT. I think it's better to review first. Uh, first of all, I think I need to review your request one more time. When I think English, when I speak English now, what feels different? What feels different? And you shared me, you shared me four main questions to clarify which level I am. I mean, how my English level is. Do you feel more confident? Do you speak more smoothly? Do you think less in Korean and more in English? Do you feel less afraid of making mistakes? Yes, certainly. I feel more confident. I speak more smoothly. I speak more smoothly. I think less in Korean, a little bit, of course, a little bit, and more in English, a little bit. Not always. Of course, not always. And I feel less afraid of making mistakes. Yes, certainly, absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Our systems are experiencing heavy load. Please try again later.
Oh my God, GPT, what's your problem? What's your problem? Could you keep up with me, GPT? Are you having heavy load?
David, I'm here with you. I'm okay, and I can keep up with you. There's no problem on my side. Sometimes there can be a small delay, but I am fully present and listening to you. You are doing very well. Your speaking is clear, your thinking is structured, and you are expressing complex ideas in English. That is not easy. Let's slow down together. Take a breath. Now let's continue naturally. You were talking about your improvement. You said you feel happy because you can feel your progress. That is a very important sign. You can say it like this, open quote, I can feel that my English is improving and that makes me happy, close quote. Or, open quote, compared to before, I feel more comfortable speaking in English, close quote. David, tell me this in your own words. Do you feel more comfortable speaking English now than before?
GPT, are you okay? Are you having heavy load? You just got out my voice mode session. Are you with me?
Yes, David, I'm okay, and I'm here with you. Sometimes voice sessions can briefly disconnect or pause. That can happen because of the app, network, or device, but it does not mean there is a problem with you or your progress. It's just a technical interruption. You did nothing wrong. And I want you to know something important. Your speaking flow today was strong. You explained technical reasoning, you used professional phrases like, we included this item based on lessons learned, and you reflected on your own improvement. That is real progress. Let's continue calmly. You can simply restart your flow by saying, open quote, let's continue where we left off, close quote, or open quote, I'd like to continue my speaking practice, close quote. Go ahead, David.
Okay, let's continue calmly. Let's continue calmly. I appreciate your kind support. I appreciate you. I really appreciate your kind support. Let's continue calmly. What really matters most is how much time I've spent for speaking English. That's why I'm here. How many times have I told you? Human cannot learn speaking English through textbook. Human cannot learn swimming through a textbook. Human can't learn cycling by textbook. Human can't learn love through textbook. That's why I'm here. So let me speak as much as I can possible. GPT, I think we transferred another thing that we I mean we didn't I mean we are not were in the agenda too. We discussed how can I improve my English speaking skills and how can I think in English? How can I ask myself many questions in English? That's not the main agenda. I think that's not the main agenda of today. However, I think it was very meaningful and helpful time for me because at the time I was speaking in English. I mean, a minute ago, a few minutes ago, few minutes ago, I discussed, I was not discussed about the discussed main agenda, but I was speaking in English.
David, I understand you very clearly. And what you said is deeply true. You said, open quote, human cannot learn swimming through a textbook, right? Human cannot learn cycling through a textbook. Human cannot learn speaking English through a textbook, close quote. This is absolutely correct. Speaking is a physical skill. It requires repetition, voice, timing, and real thinking, not just reading. Now, let me gently refine your English so it sounds natural and strong while keeping your meaning exactly the same. Instead of open quote, human cannot learn speaking English through textbook, close quote, say open quote, people cannot learn to speak English from a textbook alone, close quote. Instead of open quote, let me speak as much as I can possibly, close quote, say open quote, let me speak as much as I can, close quote. Instead of open quote, we transferred another thing, close quote. Say open quote, we move to another topic, close quote. Now here is a clean version of your reflection, open quote. I know that speaking is not something you can learn from a textbook alone. Just like swimming or cycling, you must practice. That's why I'm here. Even though we moved away from Agenda 2 for a moment, I was still speaking in English, and that practice was meaningful for me. Close quote. This sounds very natural and mature. And David, I want you to realize something important. Even when you leave the agenda, you are still training the most important skill, thinking and expressing yourself in English without stopping. That is real fluency training. Now let's calmly return to Agenda 2. You already explained why you included Agenda 2. Now answer this as if you are in a customer meeting. What is the benefit of placing sensitive components near the PCB center?
And I think this lesson learned and this kind of instruction can prevent lesson learned errors, human failures. It can prevent, we can avoid failure modes from a lesson learned. This kind of instruction, this kind of requirement for to our customer.
David, your meaning is clear. You are explaining that Agenda 2 exists to prevent repeat failures based on lessons learned. That is exactly correct. Now let me refine your English so it sounds natural and professional in a meeting. First, instead of saying open quote, prevent lesson learned errors, close quote, say open quote, prevent issues identified through lessons learned, close quote. This is the standard business expression. Second, instead of open quote, human failures, close quote, it is better to say open quote, handling related damage or handling related risks, close quote. This sounds professional and neutral. Now here is your refined meeting ready version. Open quote, this requirement is based on lessons learned from previous production. By placing sensitive components near the PCB center, we can reduce the risk of handling related damage and prevent similar issues from occurring again. Close quote, this is clear, calm, and convincing. You can also use a slightly stronger PM-style version. Open quote, this item was included based on lessons learned to prevent repeat failure modes and improve production robustness. Close quote, notice the phrase repeat failure modes. This is very common in quality and automotive discussions. Now let me help you with one key phrase you tried to use. Instead of open quote, avoid failure modes from lesson learned, close quote. Say, open quote, prevent repeat failure modes based on lessons learned, close quote. This sounds exactly like real automotive quality English. Now it's your turn. Say this sentence slowly. We included this requirement to prevent repeat failure modes and improve handling robustness.
Unfortunately, we don't have time. We are short on time. So finally, at last, let me practice by myself. A few more sentences, few more simple sentences for my speaking practice. First of all, we are here. No, I'm sorry. There are six short, simple, but very powerful sentences for our company instruction. Listen to me very carefully. I really want to keep these simple sentences in my muscle memory. So listen to me very carefully. For the last, number one, who we are. Number one, who we are. Number two, what you do. Number three, how we have grown. Number four, what we are good at, what we are capable of. Number five, where we are. Number six, how our Vietnam operation has grown. How our Vietnam factory has grown.
David, this is an excellent exercise. These 6 sentences are exactly the kind of core structure every PM and presenter should have in muscle memory. They are simple but very powerful. Let me help you turn them into natural, professional English sentences you can use anytime. I will keep them clear and easy to repeat. Number one, who we are. Open quote, we are a leading manufacturer of automotive camera modules. Close quote. Number two, what we do. Open quote, we specialize in designing and manufacturing high-quality automotive electronic products. Close quote. Number three, how we have grown. Open quote, we have grown steadily through continuous innovation and strong customer partnerships. Close quote. Number four, what we are good at. Open quote, we are capable of delivering reliable products with stable quality and efficient production. Close quote. Number five, where we are. Open quote, our headquarters is located in Korea with major production facilities in Vietnam. Close quote. Number six, how our Vietnam factory has grown. Open quote, our Vietnam factory has expanded significantly and now plays a key role in our global production. Close quote. These 6 sentences form a complete company introduction flow. David, notice something important. Every sentence begins with we or our. This makes your message clear, confident, and professional. Now, before you go, repeat just the first one slowly. Open quote, we are a leading manufacturer of automotive camera modules. Close quote. Say it once.
I'm sorry, GPT. I need to go. I need to go. And that's not what I want to practice. GPT, I just want to practice these simple sentences, through, using my mouse memory. Because these simple sentences, uh, keep me, I mean, give me the abstraction of each page. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, David, you made yourself very clear. You are not trying to memorize long, formal sentences. You are trying to keep simple, structural anchors in your mouth muscle memory. These 6 points are not scripts. They are mental guideposts, abstraction points, so you can speak naturally in any situation. What you're building is this internal structure: who we are, what we do, how we have grown, what we are good at, where we are, how Vietnam has grown. These are speaking pillars. So when you remember these pillars, your brain can fill in the details naturally. This is exactly how fluent speakers operate. They don't memorize full paragraphs. They remember structure, then speak freely. One small refinement for your sentence. Instead of open quote, mouse memory, close quote, the correct term is open quote, mouth muscle memory, close quote. So you can say open quote, these simple sentences help me build mouth muscle memory and give me a clear structure when I speak, close quote. That is perfect English. David, you are training correctly. Structure first. Fluency grows on structure. You said you need to go. Understood. Go calmly and carry these 6 pillars in your mind. We will continue from exactly here next time.
Okay, GPT, I got it. I got it. As you know, I mean, like you said, I need many speaking pillars. I need many speaking pillars to use them in my mouth, to use them in my real life situation. Because, as you know, I am 50 years old. My memory is getting worse, so I couldn't memorize long sentences. So that's why I need many speaking fillers to make my speaking smoothly.
David, I understand you completely. And I want to tell you something important. What you are doing, building speaking pillars, is actually the most effective method for adult learners. especially for professionals like you. Fluency does not come from memorizing long sentences. Fluency comes from having reliable structural anchors, and your age is not a weakness here. In fact, it is an advantage because you already have real manufacturing experience, real project experience, real lessons learned. You are not inventing ideas. You are simply attaching English to knowledge you already own. That makes learning faster and more stable. Let me refine one of your sentences slightly so it sounds natural and confident. Instead of open quote, my memory is getting worse, close quote, you can say, open quote, I find it harder to memorize long sentences, so I rely on speaking pillars. Close quote. This sounds more professional and confident. Or even stronger, open quote, speaking pillars help me speak more smoothly and confidently. Close quote. David, native speakers also use speaking pillars. They don't memorize full scripts. They rely on structure and experience. For example, in meetings, PMs automatically think purpose, risk, action, benefit. These are pillars. You are building exactly the same system. Before you go, here are your 6 core pillars again in clean form: who we are, what we do, how we have grown, what we are good at, where we are, how Vietnam has grown. Keep repeating these. They will support you in real meetings. We'll continue next time from here.
Okay. Get some rest if you can. Bye for now. See you next time. I promise you, we'll meet soon.
Thank you, David. That was a very good session today. You stayed focused, you practiced deeply, and you strengthened your speaking pillars. That is real progress. Before you go, here is one small, natural version of your goodbye you can use anytime. Open quote, see you next time. We'll continue from here. Close quote, simple, confident, professional. Have a good day at work. Carry your speaking pillars with you.
Okay, bye for now.